your girl Nia, and we are at the Atlanta Streetwear Market with
Aliyah.
Let's go, let's
Hey,
go.
ladies.
It's a good day to be here. You know,
A time like this.
a time like this ain't no other time than a time like this. I think
we will never get this back.
right. That should be our logo, our slogan. But we're gonna start this off with to give you, what you want to do. What you want to do to start off?
Well, I first want to know, are you a vendor at the market today?
I'm not a vendor at the market today, but as a black woman, I'm represented all around. So shout out to all the black women and men at the Atlanta Streetwear Market and beautiful black women that we have here doing this wonderful podcast.
You do.
So
Of course.
what we want to do to, get you warmed up a little bit, because I know sometimes when the lights and the cameras is on you, you can get a little, but to help that out, we're going to do a little icebreaker. What's our icebreaker for today,
Yes,
Kaya?
today our icebreaker is, I forgot it. Wait.
Never have I ever.
Listen, yes, never have I ever.
Okay, never have I ever.
Cool. Just going to hit you with a few questions. Ain't going to be.
We're going to do like 3.
Are we doing? Okay, we're not doing. Okay, three
All right.
fingers.
3 fingers up.
Yeah.
Three fingers up.
Three
I'll
fingers.
go first.
Never
There's
have I
3 of
ever.
us.
Never have I ever. Okay, period.
Never have I ever left the house with a terrible outfit on and saw somebody I
Oh, definitely never for me.
Yeah, I don't wear terrible outfits.
Yeah,
so
no, definitely
it's
never
not a
for
thing.
me.
knew. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know. I said I just got myself out. That's for fun.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done
Yeah,
that,
I have
no.
3 fingers.
Damn.
I can barely
That's how
leave with
fashionable
pajamas
all the way
on.
around.
So, yeah, no.
I'm trying to get like you. Okay, who gonna go next?
Never have I ever left the house without brushing my teeth.
I don't do that.
I had to
No, I don't.
rush one day.
I
Yeah, I
will
don't do
definitely
that.
say I've done that before.
Yeah.
I see the fifth.
Plead the
But if
fifth.
you ever do, you need to make sure you got
I
mouthwash
had
in the
gum,
car
though.
and Tic Tacs.
Yeah, I had gum.
And
I had
gum.
gum. I had gum.
On
3 fingers still.
I had, okay,
Still.
Damn, 3 fingers still.
I have 2 fingers.
Ooh, never have I ever been in love.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
never
Well,
have I ever
I'm
been
all
in love.
Hang on,
up.
y'all.
Dang, now you got both the wholesale.
Nia owes us lunch.
Oh, girl, bye.
Joking.
But let's get started.
Yeah.
Alike. I'm about to- So, tell us a little bit about you and about your brand.
Well, I think that when I think about my brand, I think about genuine love and authenticity. I'm all about doing what you love and making sure that if you had all the money in the world, what would you be doing? And that's
Right.
kind of what drove me to what I do. So one day I sat down, this was during COVID. I told myself, what would you do if you had all the money in the world? What would your day look like? What kind of habits would you exhibit? Waking up early, eating good foods, working out, leaning on my family and friends, staying in my Bible, different things like that. But outside of personal needs, you have to have hobbies. And singing, fashion. Of course, I love to cook because we was all cooking during COVID. So I would love to open up a restaurant one day, but my main things are definitely fashion, music, acting, singing. That's just what I see myself doing because I'm a singer-songwriter, but I also have my clothing line called No Turn on Red. And
Oh, yeah, I know about
it's-
that.
Yeah, it's different, and it's funny because you know about it, and you know how long I've been doing it.
Mhm.
So when it drops, everybody's gonna be like, "Damn, she really took her time."
Right.
Because I don't want to give y'all anything that's piss poor. I'm all about reaching for the stars. Because I mean, yeah, you can aim for the moon, but why when you see the stars? And
Right.
that's the type of time I'm on. So
Like, why limit yourself?
yeah, I'm literally chasing my dreams right now, just doing what I love. I'm leaning on my friends and family. So I appreciate y'all giving me this platform
course.
So
to
welcome.
speak my truth.
You know,
period.
black women, we got to stick together. And black men, so.
Yes, everybody, because, we be getting some fights over here sometimes. But it's okay.
Yeah, God. Like,
It's all right,
I like
either
your
way.
story.
I do
It's very
too.
inspirational. You know what I'm saying?
It is. And, I like the fact that you are taking your time
Yeah.
to put out what you want to represent yourself as, because I feel like a lot of the time we get wrapped in ideas and how great an idea can be, and we kind of just like push it out there because you're like, oh, this, I want
Yeah.
people to see my idea, like I'm gonna be so great. But it's like you can only be great if you be great, if you do great in it, put your greatness in it. So I like that you taking your time to do what you need to do, but yet you still putting yourself out there and saying, this is my brand. Like
Yeah.
it's not, like ugh yet, but it's like, it's my brand. It's my baby.
So did you guys take your time with this? What
Hell
was that vibe with pushing it out?
No,
So what do y'all think the difference is
no.
between, did you think you had to do that jump and just say, this is what I'm going to do, and forget it.
For me, sometimes I wish we take our time. I just think that a lot of the times in our podcast, we just hit with so many things.
Yeah.
And the thing that people don't realize about creating your own brand is that when you start off, you don't have sponsors. You literally, the only income, that money that's coming into your brand is your own.
Right.
And people don't realize that you're taking money out of your pocket. So you're taking money away from your rent, money away from your everyday life. And so I do wish that we waited. But at the same time, I do think that us not waiting allows us to learn a lot.
Yeah. Trial and
And
error.
in the future, we can be so great because we know what our mistakes were.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit with me, like, the same thing Kaya said. I feel like if we waited, we wouldn't have done it.
Yes,
like,
that too.
We would have just been talking, because the way we got started with this is like we was at a fashion show, and fashion show is about judging. So I ain't gonna, we was judging. And
Friends talking shit.
right, we was talking mad. It was
Yeah.
talking mad crazy. It was like, oh yeah, she crazy. So we was like, dang, maybe we should I was like, dang, I want to get on a reality TV show.
That goes said Netflix. I was like, hold on now, we gonna get
But
there.
I could definitely see you on a reality
Yeah,
TV show and
like-
holding it down. I don't know. Because I know you in the mix and
Hell no.
not in a bad way.
No,
not in a bad way at all. But Nia know what's going on, when it's going on, why it's going on. Hey, what's going on here? I got all the details.
Let me tell you about this.
It's a diligent research.
Yeah.
So reality show for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had to downscale it a little bit. So we decided on a podcast / YouTube channel
Yeah.
kind of a thing. And yeah, maybe one day, maybe after this is our first big break. And we've only been doing this for 8 months, so it's great. So maybe one day, Netflix will hit us up.
Right? Oh God.
Hopefully.
Netflix. We can do better too.
Yes,
Period.
we can.
You better stop playing.
Yes.
But
okay.
more about you.
Yes, more about you.
Tell us about what you've done with your brand so far.
So recently I've hired a manager. I've started linking with a lot of producers in the city because it's funny. I was walking around and I was talking to all these beautiful Black men and women about their brands and really what got them started. And a young man told me, he said, I just had to start. That's all I had to do. I just had to start. I had to push out quality. And my goal is to realize what's around me. And I have a hypothesis that Atlanta is the source of the culture of the world.
For sure.
Because when you think about who influences the world, Black people influence the world. But who influences Black people? Atlanta. So when you say Atlanta influences everybody, it's the truth.
Right.
Because everything we do is pure, it's authentic. We sit on the largest crystal in the world in Stone Mountain, which is something that people don't even realize.
I didn't even know that.
So when you're
Me
birthed
neither.
on this soil, you come from a different kind of root. But walk around here, ask people, where are you from? What do you do? Where's your genetics from? Some of them don't even have any attachment to Georgia alone.
Yeah.
So Atlanta making such a change and that percentage being small, I had to realize who I was, where I was, and really sit back and say, okay, I'm gonna take my time, but I'm also not gonna play with what God gave me, because I know I'm talented. But more than anything, I know I'm put here to enjoy life. And it's not even about money. It's not about reaching out to everybody in the world. It's about connecting with my people and continuing to push out myself and my brand through a genuine and authentic vibe. And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Because my fundamentals and my foundation was made here. So this is where I start. Wow, how can I get to the rest of the world? It doesn't really make sense. And when you push out quality and genuine words, like I hope the world is really listening, because it gets to a point where we have to make a difference as a culture. If you know you are dictating what's going on around the world, all these people that's out here voting, making bad decisions for us, why don't we come together and say, let's take charge? Because their grandparents may have done things that don't align with our ancestors, but at the end of the day, who follows us?
Yeah.
Their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren want to be like us. They want their skin to be dark. They want to dress like us. They want to date us. And it's nothing wrong with that, but real recognize real.
For sure.
And I've been in situations where it's been interracial relationships or seeing interracial relationships, have friends that are from other different cultures and really different generations. And all I see is love as a common base, but Black people, we the source. We the source. So to sum it up, I realized who I was and I knew it was time. So I'm just done playing with myself. That's all.
I really like your story because I feel like you're our first interview for the day, but sometimes I feel like when you speak to people that have brands, a lot of their motivation, inspiration comes from, oh, I just love fashion. But I like your story because there's more to just liking clothing in your story. I really like that.
No, I appreciate
I really do
you.
like that.
Yeah, it's like you wanna send a message out to
Yeah,
everyone.
you want to do something big. You're not there just to sell clothes and make nice clothes and set trends.
It's like, oh, this is pretty, but you thinking, oh, this is pretty, but what does it mean? You know what I'm saying? I like that.
Yeah, like it's gonna make me money, but how can it help the next person? You know,
The next
like I
generation.
really, I really
That's
like
what we
that.
need. We need more of that because it's a lot of celebrities out here that are just like, they're not obligated to make any difference. They're not obligated to spend money on nothing but themselves. But at the same time, it's like you have the position to help out a lot of people, especially a lot of people in your community. Like you always tell your story from, oh, I'm coming up, it was so hard, this, that, and the third, had to get it out of the dirt. It's a lot of people trying to get it out of the dirt. If you really mess with your people, if you really like in your songs you say, I ride for my nigga or something like that, you're not riding if you're not riding for real. You know what I'm saying? So I like that.
Crazy that you mentioned that because when I was in South Carolina last week, so I'm from South Africa. So when I was in South Carolina last week, I met somebody that's doing the first sci-fi film for Zimbabwe. And so he was meeting with like big producers and stuff in America.
Oh wow.
And he was like, everybody's laughing at him because he wants to go back home. And I said to him, the thing that pisses me off about like African celebrities that move to America, they don't give back to the community in South Africa. They leave you there. And it's like, you're so proud of being from this country, this African country, but what are you doing for your country? So I like that you're giving back to your people. You want to give back to your people. You're not just doing it for yourself.
Well, I'm just glad we can lean on each other because that's what it's about. You know, really iron sharpening iron. And we have to continue to be careful who we associate ourselves with, who we really pour into, and get in the mindset of even those friends who may not match our character or may exhibit things that we don't agree with, lead by example, because we live in a cancel culture. But the best thing to do is to address, reform, and then rehabilitate. There's no way you're going to be able to improve us as a culture if you're just throwing people off the deep end, throwing them into these institutions. And we all know what America is built on. So I just feel like don't throw ourselves in the prison. And we seeing a lot of celebrities getting canceled and just a lot of miscommunication about truth. Yeah. And I'm going to just leave it at that. And we got to stand together instead of breaking apart. It just doesn't make sense. We all we got. We all we got. And I don't want the aliens to come down here. Then it's when we lean on each other. Like, because somebody told me the only way that they believe that humans are going to come together is if something outside of us unified us. Like, nah, y'all are just humans. Yeah. Y'all, and COVID really did that because it didn't matter your color, your age, where you came from, how much bread you had. Hey, people was dropping like flies. Yeah. Everybody was losing everybody, and the playing field got evened out. So when we get to a place of equity and not equality, that's when we'll really take that shift. Because just because you need 8 and I got 3, because I need 3, I can't be mad because you got 5 more than me. Like, that's a bar. But come on now, like,
nah, it was fire.
Come on, I don't understand that divide, but it's cool because stuff like this is what's gonna push our culture, and not just over Instagram or on a video, but what kind of difference are you making in person? What aren't you recording? Who are you for real off the internet? And that's what I stand on, because you know me. You know me, and I feel like talking to people that really know me, it makes me comfortable, but it also allows me to exhibit my higher self because I can't fake it. And even if I'm not performing, it's like, okay, come on, like, you got to give them more of you. Just be you. And I appreciate you for always being there for me. Aww. And not only in this environment, but in private spaces. So I appreciate that. And God is going to do wonderful things for the both of you, because it's just vibes over here. And even the people behind the camera, and shout out to Atlanta Streetwear for hooking us up. Our homeboy Zion really doing it big for the city.
Yes,
and if y'all know where if you know where you come from.
Yeah, you don't know where we come
hey,
from,
man. Hey,
I don't know where to come from
here. This different over here. So it's just real love.
For sure feel that. Like, people don't understand. Like you said, we built this world on our backs. We built this country on our backs. There's people that came here and building more than us because you know why? They're working together. You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to fight each other for the last piece of the pie. You know what I'm saying? They're splitting the pie because that's how you create generational wealth. That's why a lot of Black people are not creating generational wealth. Because they're always challenging each other, like always trying to fight each other. So I totally feel you on that one. I wish I could reverse time and find the first Black person. Oh wait, can't do that because it was slavery.
But it's cool though, because even when you look at, it's like trial can't come with a lack of success. Whenever you look at a success story or somebody that's risen to the top, it's always been trial and tribulation there. So you got to realize everything works within the Most High. Time does not exist. So if the past, present, and future are all happening together, it's destined. So we got to get ourselves out of the barrel, because you can't say, you talking about a crab in a barrel mentality of pulling each other down. But like Jay said, crabs don't belong in a barrel. We don't belong here. So it's time for us to get on up out of here, realize where we belong, who we are, and take that next step. And I look at it personally because we're sitting in a venue that's ran by somebody who we literally saw come out the mud and get it out the dirt. So I just attest to that. And that's real love, but it's real hard work. Like blood, sweat, and tears is a thing. So I don't know. Like it's further than words. I can't even express the things that I've seen, and all these different brands that I do know, I've seen them grow 5 to 10 years. We're not talking about 2, 3, like, nah, getting it out the garage and having to do screen prints on their own, push branding and marketing with a 1 to 2 people team. That's hard, and y'all know this. Y'all screwing stuff in here, and that's rare. So think about the people that got the budget and don't got to do much. Look what you can do with what you have in front of you. And then God gonna bless you, because he ain't finna bless no mess, but you gotta take that step. So, I appreciate y'all taking this step, because that's what it is.
Sure, I appreciate you taking this step too.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. And I really liked if I'm quiet, I like what you have to say. So I really appreciate what you had to say.
Yeah,
I appreciate y'all.
I talk a lot, but when she talks, she listens.
It was just bigger than just what you want for yourself, you know. And I don't like selfish people, and I'm always willing to give way more of myself than I need to. So I like to see that someone is working hard for themselves, but is also wanting to give to others.
I appreciate y'all.
That is amazing.
But before I leave, I just want to
before you go, what you want to
I gotta tell y'all, man, the youth is what's gonna change the world. So you gotta be an example for these babies, because you know that it might have been a time or a person or a place that made an influence on you at a young age, and you see how it impacts you in your adulthood. So be careful what you saying around these babies, the music you playing, what you wearing, all of that matters. Your hygiene, the food you're consuming. We are energy, we are light, and we have to act as such. So continue to step into your higher self, and may the Most High bless you. Thank y'all for your time and your space. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast with us. You know, like Kaya said, it was very inspirational.
Yes. Very inspirational.
Hugs all around. And I love the bucket hats. I love the twin bucket hats.
Twin.
Before you go, tell the people who you are and how they can contact you and find you.
I'm Alike. You can follow me on Alike Love on Instagram. Look out for some things we got coming on Apple Music, and it's time to take over.
Y'all better go follow her now.
Period. Alike Love, ALYAKLOVE.
Oh, I like that. Sound like a radio station.
I know. I wish we could do that. ATLT podcast, Kaya and Nia. Oh, that wasn't bad though. That wasn't that bad though.
She got smoother, but I ain't gonna lie to you.
I love y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you.